Welcome to Management TV. Today we are with Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Prize winner for Peace. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We want to share your story, your ideas throughout Latin America and the world. Why don't you tell us how you started when, being a professor of economics, all of a sudden you said, can't I do something about poverty?
Well, it's basically out of the frustrations. You hope things will be better, it's not better. You hope things will change, it's not changing. It's getting worse. I was at the situation where we had a famine around me and people are starving. There's no food for them. And here you teach elegant theories of economics in the classroom, telling beautiful things can happen. But outside the classroom, it's the worst kind of thing that's happening. So you feel empty. Your knowledge, your ideas have no use for these dying people. So I wanted to see, forgetting about all those beautiful theories, as a person, as a human being, if I can be of some help to somebody in the village next door to the university campus.
And what did you do?
So I went there. I decided to spend time every day going around to see if I can make myself useful to one person, even for a day. So my ambition was very, very small, nothing big. And I did a lot of things, and I saw in the process how people were being tortured by the loan sharks.
Okay.
So I wanted to know more about loan sharks, how they do it, how can they take control of people's lives by lending a small amount of money. When I made the list, there were 42 names on the list. Total money they borrowed was $27. I couldn't believe that people can suffer so much for such a small amount of money. So one idea came, I can solve this problem, it's easy. If I give $27 to all these 42 people, they can return the money to the loan sharks and they'll be free. And the loan sharks cannot squeeze them anymore. And I was very happy that I can do that. So I went ahead and did that. And people were very happy. They didn't expect such a thing to happen. Then I realized if you can make so many people so happy with such a small amount of money, why shouldn't you do more of it? So I wanted to do more of it. That's the thing that which led me to the bank and to get the answer that it cannot be done. Bank cannot do it. It's not the job of the bank to lend money to the poor people. And I wouldn't give up. I said, it is the job of the bank to lend money. So must be able to get this money from the bank. Ultimately, after several months of trying, finally I came up with an idea that why don't you accept me as a guarantor? I sign all your papers, you save all your rules, and people get the money. And finally, they accepted that. And that's how it began. And I was signing papers, taking the risk, which bank would not like to take, and take the money from the bank and give it to people.
To the poor?
To the poor people in the village.
What is poor? How do you apply?
Poor is someone who doesn't have the basic necessities of life. For example, when we say poor person, we have a sort of checklist. If a family has any furniture inside the house, then he's not a poor person. Any tiny bit of furniture. Wow. So a poor person is someone who lives in a house which has no furniture. And it's one room, leaky roof, no water. And when the rain comes, it's all mud. And you live there, you raise your children, you have one or two pieces of clothing for yourself. And you have a couple of pots and pans to cook whatever you cook. So this is a kind of basic description of a poor person. So if it is beyond that, we said you can wait. Our focus is on the poorest person. Let's go and do that.
And quickly you also focused on women. Why?
Yes, because I was complaining against the conventional banks. They reject women. I was pointing out that 99% of the borrowers in the conventional banks are men in Bangladesh. What happened to women? Why don't you lend money to women? Their systems are male-oriented, so the women are rejected. So when I began, I wanted to make sure half the borrowers in our program are women. So we went to women. Women said, no, don't give it to me, give it to my husband. I don't know anything. So we have to go and bring confidence in her so that she can say, I can handle money. Because in the beginning, they were very nervous because they had never done this before. So they're very worried about it.
And
so
what was the attitude of husbands?
When we started giving loans to wives, they were very unhappy.
Okay.
They were very angry. Because first reaction was, you are trying to insult me by giving money in the hands of my wife rather than giving it to me. So that's an insult to me. You're defying my status in the family. To no husband liked the idea that bank should give money to wife. So he had a very negative attitude towards it. He was very hostile to our work. So we had to come up with many ideas how to befriend him, how to take it as easy as possible, so that no family tension begins because of our thing. If it's not only the relationship between us and the husband, it's also a relationship between the husband and the wife. So if the husband gets angry with the wife, that creates a lot of family problems. So we wanted to avoid family problems. We don't want to destroy the family relationship. So we had gone through many, many ways how to bring the husband to see that this is not an insult to him.
And it's in their benefit as well.
It is a benefit for the whole family. It's not against him. It is for him, so that there are two income earners in the family rather than one, so that the wife doesn't nag and complain all the time. You are not bringing money and I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Now so she earns, she understands what the money is and how you handle money.
So you got one or two women start saying, yes, I will handle it, and then?
We were waiting to see if we can get one or two women to join Grameen Bank so that they become an example and other women, the neighbors, become interested. Hey, how is she doing that? I can do better than that. Because in the beginning, in abstract, she said, I cannot do it, I cannot do it. Everybody said, I cannot do it. When somebody does it, everybody said, I can do better than that. I said, that's what we were talking about. Take the money, do better than that. So things they do were just familiar things. They never thought that this could be their income generating activity. And gradually one take it and others become encouraged, and when 5 of them take it, then 10 of them get excited. Wow. When you reach 10 of them, you get 50 of them get excited. So this is how it expands.
What's the typical amount they borrow and their purposes?
When you join Grameen Bank for the first time, the usual loan size would be in the range of $30, $35. They would like to use this money to buy some chicken, raise chicken, sell eggs, or start some basket making. They're familiar how to make basket. They will buy some bamboo and use the bamboo to make baskets. Or get some clothes and do the sewing and make shirts, make blouses, make things that neighbors would like to buy from them. Something they're familiar with, or produce some food items to sell in the market, because she is very good in making those items. And this is what they will start, and gradually they want to expand their business, same business in a bigger way, or go into bigger projects, like instead of raising chicken, why don't I buy a cow and raise the cow and sell the egg, sell the milk and pay back the bank. So this is how the kind of all the diversity comes into the business.
So after a few years of this, you got the system rolling, half were men, half were women. You probably got some enemies on the financial system, but that's history. And how did you organize these groups? Do you have offices? People go to the office of your bank? How does this work?
Again, right from the beginning, one proposition we adopted, that people should not come to the bank. Bank should go to the people. So we are always going to them and discussing with them. When somebody wants to borrow money, if she comes to our office, that I would like to borrow money, we always said, well, give your name and tell us where you live. We'll come and talk to you. Because our office is not a place we want to talk business.
Okay.
So we take that address and show up next day or following day. So
how's the system? How's the rules?
The rules are that you have to have 4 friends with you. Make a group of 5 people. So everything that we do in Grameen Bank is in terms of 5 people getting together, forming a group. And then a cluster of groups is called a center. There'll be 10 or 12 groups or 50 or 60 women in that. They will hold their weekly meetings at their place.
What happens during those meetings?
And some bank staff will come and do the banking with them right there where they live. So they don't have to go to somebody else's place. They stay where they are. Bank person has to come and do the business with them at that place where they have assembled a specific time and a specific place. And then every week we do that. It's a weekly meeting. All our loans are paid back in weekly installments.
Okay.
No matter what you borrowed, you have a time period within which you pay weekly installment, and then you pay back the whole loan, including the interest, and you're now ready to take another loan if you want.
So your bank staff goes, there are groups of 5, normally 10 groups in one big meeting. He collects the weekly installments and therefore has a significant amount of money with which he goes back. Don't you have security problems? Do he have security problems?
Well, in the beginning, people used to tell this will create security problem. We said, well, let's see, find out, rather than speculate about it. So we never tried to have guards with the guns or something. We said, we'll wait to see if it becomes impossible to carry money. But we didn't have any problem. We have, over 31 years, we have done carrying this bulk amount of money in cash, millions of times. But we hardly get attacked. Few incidents, very few compared to the time that we have been doing. Even if it takes place, if somebody pointed a gun at you or a knife at you and took the money and disappeared. You came in a motorbike and you stopped the person, took the money, bag full of money, and you thought you made it. But the amazing thing in the village level, that when that thing happens, you ask around people, did you see these people? Yeah, I saw this. These 2 kids, I know them. There's a son of such and such person, or nephew of such and such person.
So they go and
So you go and see those people, whose son or whose nephew it is, and they feel very embarrassed because they don't want to see their son or their nephew or somebody get involved in such a thing. So they will plead with the bank that please don't put them into the police, we'll compensate. And very soon they catch them, the family catch them, and bring them back, bring the money, and that's how it's settled. So usually you don't lose money, even if you are attacked. Very few cases in the whole history of Grameen Bank that we lost money, only in a very rare case. Otherwise, it's a very rare attack because people know that you can't go away very far with that money.
And you don't sign contracts with the borrowers. You don't pursue them legally in court if they don't pay. And yet you have the best bad debt index in the whole financial industry, 1.23%. How do you explain that?
Well, it's something that people feel that it's important to pay back. For the first time, they are getting an opportunity to receive the service from a bank, find money to carry on their business activity. So first thought for them is not to shut it up. If you don't pay back, the door gets closed. You can't borrow anymore if you have not paid back. So only way you can keep the door open is to pay back the money that you already borrowed so that you can make more. So this kind of encourages them to keep the door open.
Right incentive for them to pay back.
Right incentive to do that. In case you have not paid back, we don't sue you, you don't take it to court, because our assumption was we do the business the way we do. We don't want to take the person to somebody else to get our money back. So we're not taking them to the police. We don't want to take them to the court. This is all time-consuming and very expensive procedures. When you're giving $30 loan, you don't want to hire a lawyer to fight your case and spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for that case. So we said, better forget. So if she doesn't pay back, what can you do? And also we have always taken a decision, we will never punish anybody for anything. So we are not We don't have any punishment system into the system. No penalty, no punishment. So it's up to you. So you feel absolutely free.
So you broke all the good laws of typical banking, and you have better results than they have. In 30 years, what are the big numbers in terms of loans, in terms of people that you've touched?
Right now we have 7.5 million borrowers. Grameen Bank is like a club. Okay. Once you join, you stay with it. You continue. It's kind of continue to move up the ladder of the income. So it's not just a one-shot business. You take a loan, paid it back, and walked away. You never came back. It's not like that. It's a long-term relationship. Okay. You have a savings account, so you want to see your savings grow. Your pension fund, which is a 10-year commitment you are making that you will save in this account for 10 years. And the deal is whatever amount you have saved during these 10 years, bank will match it with equal amount. So you get double the money that you save. So that's you wait to get that money. So there are many things, many features, and you are growing together with your friends in the group. So you don't want to walk away and do something else which is not as attractive to you. So that's a long-term relationship that you built it up. Grameen Bank is like a family. Okay. It's our new family. That group is our immediate family, center is our neighborhood, and the whole Grameen Bank is our community. So we want to move up the ladder and make a change. We send our children to school, bank helps us. Bank gives education loan for our children so that they can become doctors, engineers, professional people. And the borrowers themselves are illiterate people. They've never been to school ever. Wow. Not their any other family members ever went to school, but their children are going to school. And we want to ensure that 100% of the children are in school and have good education. And we give them scholarships, we give them student loans to create a whole new generation out of the illiterate families, so that once that generation come into life, in real life situation, so they never go back to poverty again.
What percentage would you say came out of poverty through the system?
We monitor it as part of our work. Every year we kind of survey how many families have moved out of poverty. Last survey, we have 64% of the families who have been with Grameen Bank for 5 years or more have come out of poverty. And our goal is to increase this number as we go along, so that someday we'll have 100% of the families moving out of poverty.
You even did an extraordinary experience with beggars. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we wanted to reach out to the beggars because people say that you need a special entrepreneurship to be successful with microcredit. And my position is all human beings are entrepreneurs. It's not something special with the special people. Everybody has it, but some discovered it, some never discovered it. So give them an opportunity to discover it. So one way we wanted to demonstrate it by giving loans to beggars. And if beggars can find their own talent to be creative and a businessman, that will show that even the beggars have the creative energy and the entrepreneurship. So we started talking to the beggars, and the idea that we promoted, as you go from house to house begging, would you carry some merchandise with you? Some cookies, some candies, or some toys for the kids, so that the people that you meet in the household, they have more, you can give them options, whether they want to give you some food free, or they want to buy something from you and give you an income, or do both. It's up to them to decide, but you give both options. And that way you'll be better off than just having one option of getting something free. Somebody will give it, somebody will not give it.
And they did.
And they did. So it went on.
How many beggars did you have?
It became a pretty popular program. Now we have over 100,000 beggars in the program, and many of them have stopped begging completely over years. Now we started 4 years back. Today, more than 11,000 beggars have stopped begging completely. And the rest of the beggars are, I would say, part-time beggars and part-time salespersons.
You broke with a single dimension understanding of the human being that every endeavor is for profit. And you say, no, there's for profit and non-profit, for the others, and the benefit of others. That's what you call social business. What are the characteristics of social business? And do you see a future in that?
The economic theory presented in its model that people are taken as a profit maximizers. So in business, you are a profit maximizer. I said that's a one-dimensional representation of a human being, but the real human being is a multidimensional human being. It's not a money-making machine. So I said, in order to justify the multidimensionality of a human being, you have to create at least one more type of business. Business to do good to people, rather than make money for yourself. And I'm calling it a social business. It's a business. It makes profit. But profit doesn't come to me. Profit stays with the company, so that it can be expanded. It has a social objective. The whole thing we do to achieve a social objective. Maybe poverty alleviation is a social objective. So we have a microcredit program. I run a microcredit program not to make money for myself, to help people get out of poverty. That's why I'm making it. So all the benefit is with the client, not with me.
Throughout the years, who contributed most? Politicians, government, financial institutions, any of the above?
Contributed in
In developing your business, helping you achieve what you've achieved. Politicians, for example.
They were on the sideline. On more occasions, they have been negative rather than supportive. We had a lot of efforts to make when we needed the law, when we needed a change in the law, when it's a removal of some barriers. You have to go on pleading with them for months and for years to do that. So it's not very easy. They never kind of strong supporter of our activity, because somehow they see it's something not to their taste. So we had to rely on ourselves. We are independent organizations. We don't go to the government to find money because we created our own source of money. Deposits are the source of money. We don't have to go to the international organizations to find money, because we bring the money by the deposit taking.
Relatively self-sustaining.
Self-sustaining, yeah.
What's your dream for the year 2050? You wrote a book about that.
One idea that I've been promoting, that we can create a poverty-free world. Nobody has to be a poor person, because all people have enormous capacity, enormous potential, unlimited potential. So it's a question of unleashing that potential. Even the beggar has unlimited potential, but simply society never gave him a chance. If we can create an opportunity, then people can come out of poverty. So goal is to create a poverty-free world. Nobody will remain a poor person. And I said, poverty is not part of a civilized human society. Poverty is to belong to poverty museums. So we want to create a world where only place you see poverty is in the poverty museum.
That's great. Great challenge, great closing remarks. Thank you very much, Muhammad, for being with us. Thank you for being with Management TV.